What is going on, guys? Welcome to the channel. Circle, triangle, square, now kind of CTS gaming. Wanted to shorten it up. Hope you guys are having a fantastic day. Before we dive into the content today, be sure to check out the Twitch channel for the streams, which is twitch.tv/circle triangle squared. That is going to be switched over to circle triangle square CTS, basically like it is here on YouTube. So very soon, in the next couple of days, that's going to switch over to CTS Gaming. So it'll eventually be twitch.tv/CTS Gaming. The reason why I did that is CTS is Circle Triangle Square, and CTS Gaming is easier to remember. Plus, my logo says Circle Triangle Square Gaming. So I really wanted to simplify that for you guys. So definitely be sure to check out the Twitch channel, twitch.tv/circle triangle squared, but it will be CTS Gaming in the next couple of days, just like the YouTube channel. So I just want to give you guys opportunity to check out the Twitch channel as well. Most of the streams are over there. Today's video, though, I really want to dive into, and that is the controller, the Dualsense controller for the new PlayStation 5. And there has been talks about some people who hate it and other people who like it. Generally, it has received a pretty good amount of love. Now, there's going to be two colors. One's going to be black. One's going to be white with the black. Two versions, or actually three versions of the PlayStation 5. One is the Spider-Man, one is the white console, and one is the black console. Now, before we dive into colors or talk about anything like that, we've had some major problems, at least in my view, for the PlayStation 5 controller. They're not really like world-ending or shattering or anything like that, but it's annoying that Sony had a chance to possibly rectify this controller. Maybe they will, but I highly, highly doubt it, considering the flaws at hand. So let's go ahead and take a look at the problems. I want to say something, though. The controller's design is really nice, and it's really hard to say how good it's going to feel in the hands, considering I haven't held the controller. But with the fact it's going to have resistance on the triggers and buttons, and new haptic feedback, especially with that new game that's launching with the PlayStation 5, which is going to show developers and players how the DualSense controller truly works. But there, like I said, still some flaws here. So let's go ahead and look at the controllers. I'm going to get off my YouTube page here. Let's look at these controllers and let's talk about it. The top 5 flaws here that Sony has got going on with this controller. Number one, the microphone. I think it's a great idea to have a microphone in the controller, but at the same time, I think it's a terrible idea. And the reason is every time you turn the PlayStation on and jump into a game, if you don't remember to mute your microphone, you're going to have people listening to you, especially since most people are going to forget that it's there for a little while. Probably the first couple of weeks or months that the system is out, people are going to forget their controllers on. And not only is that going to be a problem because you're going to be speaking or saying things and everyone's going to be able to hear you, but there's an even bigger problem than that. And that is the fact that the controller buttons and thumbsticks are going to clank into the mic. You're playing games like Call of Duty and you're in Team Deathmatch or Fortnite and you're trying to talk to your party, you're going to hear all kinds of clanking on the controller. It's really going to be hard to decipher right now how good the microphone is, the internal microphone that is on the PlayStation 5 DualSense. If it's really not a good microphone and it's anything like we expect from, say, cell phones, or maybe not even as good as that, or just going off of what GoPros sound like, it's going to be a very terrible idea. It's kind of on the fence of being good and bad at the same time. Only time will tell. If they put a really good microphone in the PlayStation controller, then it won't be so bad. But at this point, it's hard to tell how good the microphone truly is. So just going off of history and technology today, it could be a very bad thing. Like, even if people understand that the microphone's there and they don't forget, just imagine trying to talk to somebody in chat and the microphone's of lower quality and you can hear all the clicks on the buttons. If you've ever held a GoPro, you know, even across the screen makes all kinds of unwanted noise. It picks up everything, which means although it's convenient, the quality is most likely going to be terrible. So that is going to be kind of, there's got to be a setting to mute it, and I'm pretty sure there is, but there's no point in having a microphone on the controller if it's going to suck. So let's just hope Sony didn't drop the ball with that one. Moving along to number 3, the battery. Has Sony not learned their lesson? The PS4's DualShock controller only lasts about half the time of Microsoft Xbox Ones. And not only that, the Xbox One will take dual AA batteries, or it will take a battery pack that you can buy from Microsoft or third-party manufacturers and recharge it. So it does everything. You can swap different batteries, buy separate batteries. So if you don't want to plug your controller in, you can have 3 charged battery packs and just swap them while you're playing games during loading screens and whatnot. There are options on eBay to buy battery packs that are extended for PlayStation 4 DualShock controllers, but they're not easily changed out. In fact, you have to take all the screws out of the back, pop the controller apart, unplug all the wiring, and swap a 30-minute swap if you don't know what you're doing. If you've done it before, you could probably do it in 10 or 15 minutes, maybe a little quicker. Whereas the Xbox One, even a child could swap out the battery in about 5 seconds. So that's another problem with the Dualsense controller, is that it's got an internal battery that cannot be changed easily, probably not even at all at this point, because who the hell is going to take apart a Dualsense controller? I mean, eventually maybe, but if this battery for the DualShock, it's going to suck to have bad battery life and be once again pegged into having a wire or a cable connected to it. That's where the Microsoft hardware is better. The controller on PlayStation, the ergonomics of it are, in my opinion, not quite as good as Xbox One, but I'm more familiar, and I like my thumbsticks to be right beside one another. However, the battery issue and being able to swap batteries out, charge them separately, or use AA batteries is a very big improvement over PlayStation's controller. So let's just hope that Sony learned their lesson on this one. And let's just hope that they have given us a better controller battery inside and that we can get at least 4 or 5 hours of gaming before it dies. I know that my Xbox One controllers definitely last a lot longer than PlayStation. I think the PS4 batteries now are a little bit better in the DualShock, but they're not much better. I think the original ones that came with the PS4 at launch, you'd get like 2 hours of gaming, maybe 3, and they were dead. Now I probably get like maybe 3.5, and sometimes even less than that. If you have a chat set or a headset plugged into a DualShock controller on PS4, I can almost surely guarantee in less than 2 hours you are dead and have to plug in a cable. Especially if your controller's older, you might only get an hour out of it. They're not as good as Xbox, so that's a problem. They should have implemented a cover in the back to swap batteries. They did not do this. Is it a massive problem? Not really, but you'd think that something like this or changed it. They did not. So now we move along to number 2, which in my opinion is a very big issue. Not in the sense that it's necessarily meaning the controller sucks or is broken, but it's the sense that Sony could have given the audience and the fan base even something better, and that is rear paddles or triggers. The Sony DualSense controller lacks paddles on the back. And what I mean is I'll show you guys, this is my DualShock controller. There's nothing on the back. So like, let's say you're playing Call of Duty and you're running and you want to basically slide. You have to tap the circle button, or if you program it to your right thumbstick, you can do it there, but you can't jump no more. So let's say you want to be able to jump shot and slide shot. Well, if you're sliding, you got to press circle, which means your thumb comes off the right thumbstick. Whereas if there's paddles, you could have 2 here and 2 over here, bare minimum 1 on each side. This could be your crouch and slide. The right paddle trigger could be your jump, meaning you never leave the controller. So you can see my thumbs are on the controller right now. I could easily just hit the back while playing, and my other 2 index fingers would be on the top. They dropped the ball with that because now PlayStation owners are going to have to buy modded controllers again, and there's no pro option. At least with Xbox, there is an elite controller, a pro controller with paddles on the back that are removable. Sony, yet again, has dropped the ball on this. The DualSense controller, if it had paddles on the bottom and had a good microphone, which we're not sure of yet, and not only that, had a bigger PlayStation button on the front, then this controller would most likely just be damn near perfect. But again, Sony didn't give us the back paddles, which is very important. I know a lot of you guys want paddles on the back, which is why we have to go with, scuff controllers, evil controllers, and mod central controllers. There's just a lot of different things you have to get for them because they don't have any paddles on the back. Now, I know that's not really like the biggest downfall, but it's definitely a downfall because now we got to spend $200 or $300 on a controller. Maybe Sony plans on releasing a controller Very possible. And if they do, I would buy it because it would be a Sony product and not a third party. However, the chances of that happening, I think, are probably less than 50-50 as they haven't done it before, but who knows? That's for a different day and a different video. I'm sure you guys agree you'd like to see rear removable paddle buttons that could plug in and out. There'd be like a little spot you can just snap them in. It'd be similar to the Microsoft Elite controller. However, Sony didn't do that. So at this point in time, I don't know why, but it is definitely a downfall nonetheless. Moving along to number one, which is the biggest downfall of the controller, and in my opinion, sucks the absolute most, and that is the thumbsticks. The thumbsticks on the Dualsense are identical to the DualShock. They are not tall enough. If you were playing any first-person shooter games like Call of Duty, Battlefield, or even games like Fortnite, you need to be able to have your sensitivity up. But with a short thumbstick, the range of throw or range of motion is so short that you can't really run high sensitivity. Most people cannot do it. It's just really hard and almost impossible, which is why most, if not all, controllers that are aftermarket have adjustable height for their thumbsticks. The stock length of the thumbstick on a PlayStation 4 DualShock controller is 15 millimeters. The DualSense looks to be the same or less, which is even bigger of a problem. Now, it could be identical, but it looks like it might be a tad shorter. If you guys look at my controller here, I have the taller controllers, or thumbsticks, should I say, which are 20 millimeters. They give me literally more than double the length. Well, it looks like double the length, but it's not. It's probably 75% more in length. It's hard to say exactly, but they're 20.8 millimeters or something like that. So I just say 20 or 21, but they're a lot better than the stock thumbsticks. That means I can turn my sensitivity all the way up, and then I can control how much motion I want. And with different Call of Duty games, you have different curves on the response for the controller input. So the fact is, Sony could have had this controller perfect with a taller thumbstick or adjustable thumbsticks where you could click them in and out, or just give us something that's kind of in between. Instead of a 10 millimeter thumbstick, they could have gave us a 14 millimeter thumbstick or a 12 or a 16. Either way, they could have made it a little bit longer. The Xbox thumbsticks are a smidge taller, not much, but they're a little better, slightly improved over, say, a stock controller from Sony. But with all the things I've mentioned, with the battery, the thumbsticks, the rear paddles not being smaller, and the microphone at this point we assume is of low quality, because I've never seen an internal microphone in anything this cheap that's going to be of high quality. Sony has definitely got some flaws going on and somewhat have dropped the ball in areas they could have prevented. So I'm going to go ahead and look at comments here and make sure I'm not missing anything. I'm just going to check these comments out. I always go over my comments. So let me just put this up here. All right. Yeah, the charger cable is fine, but it's just they had the opportunity to prevent that. The battery life's going to be a problem. I appreciate that, Social. Welcome to the chat, buddy. What's up, Dan? Boosted, Coco, Brian. Appreciate you guys stopping in. The real big problem, like I said, battery life is one of the biggest ones for me. It truly is. I really think that the battery should at least last 4 hours. If it can last 4 hours, we're good. For some reason, YouTube isn't showing me all the comments. It's blocking a lot of them out. I think it's, like I said, it's a great controller. It looks good. It looks like it feels good in the hands, which is hard to tell at this point. But these flaws are going to be a little bit of a problem, if you ask me. Especially, imagine this, if the microphone really sucks, it means it's completely useless to have. Imagine the battery life is the same as the DualShock controller, if not worse. Now you're going to be stuck with a cable all the time. That could also be bad. The fact is, if you play Call of Duty, you're going to have to buy thumbsticks again, or thumbstick, like the caps that go in the thumbsticks, the extenders. You're going to have to play with Control Freak thumbsticks now on a controller that's brand new and supposed to be innovative. And not only that, there's no paddles in the back, so you're still going to have to buy a Scuff or an Evil controller if you play Call of Duty, which most of you guys do already anyway. So if you're playing Call of Duty or anything like that, Overwatch, Battlefield, Fortnite, Destiny, you're going to have to buy another controller. You're just going to have to, or thumbsticks. But if you're a really good player at those games and somewhat professional, or you're in the tournaments or the leagues, you're going to have to buy another controller, which sucks considering you're dropping $500 or $600 on a system, which is brand new, which you think that Sony would be, investing more time into the controller. So only time will tell, but I'm truly hoping that the microphone and battery life are good. We are tall enough. It's evident from the photos, and there's no real paddles. So even if they fix the battery life and the microphone, and let's say the button is perfect and it's a sensitivity button and not an actual push button, that solves 3 out of 5 problems. We're still stuck with short thumbsticks and no paddles in the back, which means we have to buy another controller anyway. But let's just see what they do. I really do love the design of the controller. Think it's awesome. I really appreciate you guys stopping in. What do you guys think of these 5 flaws that Sony has messed up on the controller? I'm going to have a video coming out in a couple of days here on the 5 things that Sony got right on the controller, so stay tuned for that. I also have a video coming up on Microsoft's Xbox Series X and how Microsoft could actually have a very good chance at winning the console war with this generation. Some really good things about Microsoft Xbox Series X that I want to discuss. Those 2 videos are coming up. Also have some new gun loadouts on Call of Duty Modern Warfare, which I'm going to share with you guys. Be sure to check out my other video I just released on chopper kills and some really cool stuff where we had the most epic game of Warzone ever with a shocking ending. And then another video I posted, guys, is the MP7's best loadout. Check that video out as well. We'll see you guys here on the live stream. We got Call of Duty coming up for you in about 15 minutes, so come right back. We got a live stream on Call of Duty Modern Warfare. I really appreciate you guys stopping in here watching this video. And Roberts, the flaws on a controller that I haven't used, no, it's very easy. It's just common sense. I don't have to hold the controller to see that the thumbsticks are short. But I appreciate you guys stopping in. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you guys on